Welcome back to Newsmax Now. FEMA, the agency responsible for providing aid to victims of Hurricane Sandy, says recipients need to repay some $24 million in recovery funds. Nearly 3 years after the storm, the agency says it overpaid some people, and now FEMA wants families to pay back on average more than $6,000 in disaster aid. But some New Jersey lawmakers are working on legislation aimed at forgiving that debt. In Colorado, attorneys enter the final phase of jury selection in the trial against James Holmes. The 27-year-old faces charges of killing 12 moviegoers and injuring dozens after an attack at a Denver area movie theater back in 2012. Opening statements will begin later this month. Indiana police say 19 people were rushed to the hospital after a megabus slammed into the back of a semi-truck stopped on Interstate 65. None of the injuries are being reported as life-threatening. Hillary Clinton announced her bid for the White House via Twitter, sparking a massive social media critique. WikiLeaks tweeted Hillary Clinton has stolen our innovative logo. Meanwhile, Montel Williams says he likes it, but is interested in seeing Rubio's announcement later today. And Burt Reynolds' 1977 Pontiac Trans Am from the movie Smokey and the Bandit heads to auction. The fully restored muscle car is expected to fetch big bucks. Bandit, which you see right here, is a special edition T-top convertible and the last one in Reynolds' collection. The last one sold for $450,000.
Last one is in J.D. Hayworth's garage right now somewhere, maybe. We're going to bring in J.D. right now because we want to talk about some political news. Of course, we got a big announcement coming up here later today with Marco Rubio. And I also want to talk about this Bob Menendez prosecution, some might say persecution. Good talk with Alan Dershowitz coming up. We're going to talk about that coming up in our next block. Let's start with Marco Rubio. And your reaction, because we have these announcements coming and they're leaked out online. It seems that, though, it doesn't really matter the form of the announcement. They're trying to custom tailor it to the audience.
We're getting into a situation, kind of a brave new world of campaigning. You were speaking earlier, John, about how much social media is too much. As we were speculating earlier this morning on America's Forum, it seemed that Marco and his team had taken cinema verite a little too far. No windscreen to hear him during that announcement. In stark contrast to the video we see here from CPAC, a well-lit forum. Presumably today, at his big announcement, all the lights will be in place, the windscreens will be on the microphone, and he'll make his case why, as a first-term senator, he's qualified to be the next president of the United States.
And he would be the third first-term senator to jump into this race. What do you think about that?
I think it makes it very interesting around the Senate cloakroom. Look, there is no shortage of ego or ambition in what is known as the world's most expensive club. But the fact is, when you have guys who've worked together, Rand Paul and Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz, now with their eyes all on the same prize, you wonder what happens in terms of floor debate. Are there efforts, even with a united front on legislation, are there little digs they throw out in
speaking of digs,
speeches?
how long before we start hearing from Democrats that this prefixation with the presidential race is causing Senate Republicans to block Loretta Lynch's nomination even more so?
You just said it.
In
5 seconds, the social media will be out from the DNC. But the fact is, Loretta Lynch has problems, yes, largely with the presidential campaign, but a couple of other things at work here, John. Let's understand that in the Senate, where you have oversight and constitutionally a vote to confirm positions such as Attorney General, Loretta Lynch went in and said basically, when you take away all the rhetorical niceties, she was going to be a rubber stamp for the Clinton administration. And when you have that going on, people like Ted Cruz are right to point out some concerns about it. Also some other politics too. John McCain in Arizona, expecting a tough primary fight, has said already he's not going to vote to confirm Loretta Lynch if the vote ever comes up. His junior partner in the Senate, Jeff Flake, apparently is going to vote to confirm Ms. Lynch. So there's some dissonance among senators from the same state.
Some other sound bites hanging out there that might come back to haunt some folks with Lindsey Graham and the way he approached the onset of the Loretta Lynch confirmation process. He seemed to be on board with her becoming the next Attorney General. He might also be running for president, might be another senator in the race, might have to rework some things. Of course, Loretta Lynch, the longest wait since 1995, I guess, and that might be for an AG, according to our producers.
Well, it's gone on because, quite frankly, there's some important legislation that the majority of senators want to see passed. The Democrats don't want to go along with that. But even more so, don't neglect the fact that these hearings were not ceremonial. And even with Republicans running the risk of being called racist or sexist, they take a look at this Attorney General nominee basically saying she's going to continue the Obama holder approach to the Justice Department.
Probably not going to win you a lot of friends in the U.S.
Not
Senate
going to
right
do
now.
real well.
JD, please do stick around. I know you got America's Forum to work on for tomorrow. You're prepping for that. But we do want to talk about your discussion with Alan Dershowitz. We'll bring Miranda back for that as well. More to come here on Newsmax Now. Stick around.